Yeah. Never dispose of the pen, I'm at it again, we close to the end. The older I get, emphatic I am. They try to pretend, they try to be friend, wreak havoc instead. Look at the trends, can't comprehend my dramatic ascent. I'm heavenly sent, they try to condemn. Ladies and gentlemen, I am the man. Yeah, different vision but the same goes. Big collision off the main road, that's the beaten path where my brain goes. Felt the devil's wrath off my halo. Hella stones, no Thanos. Hella gold, no rainbow. This is hella genius in my brain lobes. Hella gross as far as revenue goes. Bought me a net for these Benjamins though. You not a threat, you an enemy though. Broke me a sweat, killing enemies slow. Body offset all these feminine flows. Hardly upset, but you testing me though. All of these stats are depressingly low. Why your girl think I'm a specimen though? Drums and them perks is my medicine though. There's no comparison. Black in America, little too arrogant. I just embarrass y'all niggas irrelevant. I shouldn't mention it. That's royal etiquette. Out of my element, way too intelligent. Grab you a therapist, send in my sentiments. Neck full of sediments. Cop me a Tesla and skirt through the valley. Drop the investment in Silicon Valley. All this cake, but I'm missing the patty. Might mess around and just move to Miami. Drums are so loud that they breaking the chassis. King of the grass like I'm Lionel Messi. I am not crass, but my mental is messy. Mud in my glass while my pencil is sketching. All these rappers, but no one impressed me. Most of them actors at labels is testing.
The following program is rated TV MANOC. It contains a big pair of nuts directly on your chin. It is intended only for mature audiences. Viewer discretion advised.
I'm not going to assume your gender.
What the fuck is that? Pennywise is on disability or something?
How insensitive of you to point that out.
You don't have the privilege to go to work?
I am a disabled American, and you think I can get up and go to work? I don't have that privilege.
I'm gonna throw up.
I can imagine the ugly things that go through your mind and the thoughts. I wouldn't want to live in your head for 1 minute.
Go fuck yourself.
Obesity is epidemic in the United States and a major cause of death.
What is fat activism?
I, a fat person, am sharing my own lived experience.
Pizza is a vegetable.
Your fat phobia is your problem.
It is not my place as a smaller-bodied white man to comment on it.
Radical body positivity.
What can men do against such reckless hate?
There's only one man who can help me.
This is for you new people. I only have one rule. Everyone fights, no one quits.
This day we fight!
Swole armor.
The sun is shining, the birds are chirping, the bacon is sizzling. Welcome to the Daily Swole.
Testing. Testing, testicles. Oh, welcome everyone to episode 23 hundo and 60 schwam of the Daily Mother Swole, the most muscular swolecast, beercast, broadcast, gangcast, mancast, pimpcast, sleazecast, and slaycast in the realm. Because when I flex, you flex, we all flex our biceps. So what's going on, beaches, booshes, busters, hustlers, and your hoes? It's your boy, Papa Swolio, back with another episode. Today's episode, the Beastcast, is brought to you, is powered, is sponsored by Everson K2 flexing on all you be
Fucking Catalina.
It's the fucking.
Are you eating your foot, dude?
It's the fucking Catalina wine.
Excuse you. Hey, what are you doing? What are you doing? Enough. Going to town, bro. Nice taint, by the way. Very nice taint. Excellent. Oh, draw me like one of your French taints. Good boy. Good boy. He was just going, if you're just listening, he was going ham on his foot. He was like, literally, oh yeah, lick the taint. Lick it. Oh, shit. Yeah. Nice. It is a Sunday after all. Welcome, Beaches. Welcome to the Sunday Fun Day Red, White, and Swole Q and anus. We're just taking tons of questions today. All right, all bets are off. Who knows what the hell is going to happen? Good morning, everyone. What's up, Nancy? How we doing? Cerny, Toby. How we doing? Tobias, Dan, Baba Yaga, Brennan, John, Midnight Rider, Jeremy. How we doing, everyone? Pablo. Welcome, Beaches. Welcome. Let's get a little America to get us started. All right, so if you have questions, you can start dropping them in the comments down below. We do have a bunch of calls. We have some from Instagram. We'll take live questions. Again, this is an episode for you. This is for the Swole fam. This is for anyone watching live. This is your chance to ask and direct the show and ask me what you want to talk about, essentially. Don't forget, tomorrow at 12 noon Eastern time, we have our Swole fam accountability meeting tomorrow, Monday, October the 24 at 12 noon for members. So join the fam today. Otherwise, you're going to miss tomorrow's episode. No. That is unnecessary. All you got to do is show up to the accountability meeting and then you won't miss the episode. You heard? Just be there. 12 noon Eastern time. We will see you there and we'll get some new releases, private member Q&A, and of course, we will go over some awesome Swole fam posts. So stoked for Monday's. Best way to start the week is with the Swole fam. And last week was like intense because last Monday in the morning, I found out that the Instagram and the Facebook and everything got shut down. So it was a little bit stressful and hectic trying to figure out what's going on. So this Monday, tomorrow, is going to be as per usual. We're just going to go and fucking crush it. If I have any updates, I'll give you updates. But nothing to see or to hear yet. But we got some awesome new releases. As always, we have some awesome Swole fam posts. And of course, private member Q&A tomorrow, 12 noon Eastern time. See you all there. Let's bust the nut open. Drop your questions in the comments down below. Hashtag Ask Papa Swolio. Here we go. Oh, that was a nice one. Thank you, Freddie. Bust that nut open. Yep. All right, misdirection. You know what's funny is because Freddie made the card. Earlier, and then I didn't know. He asked me. Freddie asked me, right? That was your fuck up, wasn't it, bro? I know. So then I didn't know what episode the number was. I was like, is it 61 or 62? So I went over to the pile of cards from yesterday and then saw, I was like, okay, today is 61. And then I guess the card, Freddie put the card back. It is what it is. Anyway, it's here. It's done. I was like, shit, we did the card. Why isn't the card there? Hashtag Dick Draft. No better time to promote the Dick Draft. Of course, these are brave young men and women that we are sending to the front lines to dick down these purple and pink-haired lunatics. We thank you for your service. This is what's going to unite the country. We need to fuck them straight. When I say fuck them straight, I mean literally and figuratively, but more figuratively. Like, we need to, once you get a good dicking from the Swole fam, guess what's going to happen? The hair is going to magically dissolve into your normal natural color. The septum piercings are going to dissolve, kind of like Thanos snapping his fingers. All that insanity just disappears. All those huge glasses just fade away. And then we go back to normal, a unified, amazing country. America, baby. Fucking America. Didn't know that was possible.
The more you hate me, the more you will learn.
We figured it out. We hacked it through. And we are looking for brave young women to lead our our male soldiers into battle. So females that are drafted into the Dick Draft, as per needed, you will satisfy or take care of wherever that's appropriate. Much more rare, but you will be, immediately officers, generals, to strategize the points of attack. And of course, the men the brave men, the brave soldiers sacrificing their organs for the cause. It's traumatic, and but we do support our veterans, and we are going to really have to quadruple down on that PTSD, because that's going to be literally PTSD. Those D's nuts, you know what I'm saying? Because all right, let's is this a balls deep episode? Just pure balls deep today. No, we had overtime on Friday. Hopefully you checked the replay if you weren't there. Anyway, let's get into some questions. Let's move right along before we just talk about PPs and wee-wees the whole time, before we keep on talking about the Dick Draft. We could go on for hours when it comes to the Dick Draft. Let me get this shit in focus. Perfect. All right, we got a question here from Nancy on the Telegram. Papa, I know you've answered this before, but what do you do for dental health? I'm on my last tube of toothpaste, and I don't want to buy any more and switch my kids too. I use a bamboo toothbrush, and all I do is I put a little bit of, I have like my water, and I just kind of wet the toothbrush, and I tap a little bit in baking soda, and then I brush, and then I, scrape my tongue or brush my tongue or whatever, and then I have some Dr. Bronner's unrefined coconut oil, and I take a little scoop of that, swirl around my mouth, and I floss while I'm swirling it around with like some, those the flosser picks, but I don't know. I forget what they're made out of, but I got some natural or better ones without phthalates and BPA and shit like that. Best of my ability. And then I, swirl around, swallow the coconut oil, and then that's it. That's all I do. My teeth have never been healthier too. It's really going to come down to more like what you're eating. Flossing is important, of course, but so the coconut oil pulling has been great. And rather than flossing and then doing the coconut pulling, I just swirling around the coconut oil while I'm flossing, because it also aids in the floss getting between the teeth. And that's it. And then rinse, swallow the coconut oil. And that's it. That's all I've been doing. And they feel great. So I've gone to the dentist. I go every 4 months. So I go 3 times a year. And ever since I started doing that, of course, as my nutrition has continuously improved and refined, my teeth have been getting healthier. And every time I go, the hygienist and the dentist say, keep on doing what you're doing. They're like, oh, we'll watch 1 or 2 things, from a long time ago. Just keep an eye on something. Everything else is like good to go. So I'm just continuing to do so. Let's see. We have Devin from the Swole Fam Telegram chat. My knee is still bugging me. Should I avoid working it out? I don't know what that means. What does bugging me mean? Are you doing anything to address it? Are you doing reverse sled? Are you practicing yoga? Are you stretching it? Are you doing anything for it? Did you check out the master classes in X? Did you check that stuff out? You don't want to work through pain, but you need to address these things. So you need to address the issues. So what really matters is what's causing the pain. So you need to find that unlock. You need to figure out what is causing the issue. So you'll notice on the show, because we've done so many episodes, we have people calling in all the time with injuries or issues. So what caused the problem? So you can have a shoulder pain, like, oh, my shoulder hurts. Well, why does it hurt? Did you get into a car accident? Did you fall off a motorcycle? Or were you doing an overhead press and all of a sudden it started, you felt a twinge? Or it matters, especially because I'm not there and I'm not a physical therapist. I'm not a doctor. I'm not going to sit there and do like manual manipulation and be like, oh, that's why it's, so understanding why it's there makes a big difference, because it could be a movement impairment. It could be a postural issue. It could be something that's imbalanced that's causing wear and tear and inflammation over time, or it could be an acute injury. So both of those are going to be treated differently. All right, let's see. Let's get a little Tainty Man here. Tainty Man. Only the Tainty Man can. He does not give a fuck. And don't forget, hashtag Dick Draft for a chance to win today's Swole card. It is the Sunday Fun Day, Red, White, and Swole. Q and anus. 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 Need to get like some live echoes and audios. Okay, let's see. All right. Let's see. Papa Swolio. I just got out of a relationship and I fucked up. I couldn't keep my 7 pillars in line and I lost myself. I stopped being me and I couldn't keep my emotions in control. Need brain gains? Yeah, it seems like you need brain gains and everything else. I mean, brain gains is part of it, right? So if you couldn't keep your 7 pillars in line, you need all the 7 pillars. So you're a unique situation. You're aware of the 7 pillars and you know what the 7 pillars are and you're putting them to practice. Put them all back into practice. Put them all back into practice. Brain gains is just part of it. So if you have psychological issues and you're jacked up upstairs in your head, physical training is part of it. You know, putting yourself through that discipline. You need to be training regularly, whether you feel like it or not. That's what discipline is. You need to do it when you don't feel like it. And I'm not the only one to say that. I mean, many people are harping about that, you know, online. Discipline is what you need to go for. I mean, that's what consistency leads. Consistency leads to discipline. It's part of it. It's a component of discipline. It's all about doing it when you don't feel like it. So how are you consistent? By doing it. That's really what pillar number 7 is. How are you consistent? You have to do it. So understand, if you're doing it every day to be consistent, there's going to be a percentage of the time that you don't feel like it. Could be a large percentage, could be small. But if you're doing it, it's irrelevant. Again, it doesn't factor into the equation. It doesn't matter if you feel like it or not. So Pablo, why are you fucking up? That's the real question. You lost yourself. Why? Why? Like, you didn't have to. And this is the thing. If you are focusing on your 7 pillars and you're putting yourself first, this is probably a situation where you weren't putting yourself first. Lesson learned. We all have those situations. But if you're putting yourself first and then you're in a relationship, you still come first. So everything else, yeah, relationship's important, or it can be, whatever, but you're still taking care of yourself. So when I met Mama Swolio, I was head down, grinding, building Swolenormous, and I was training. Being with her is not going to take me away from training and eating and doing what I need to do. I love her and I care about her, but I'm still going to do the shit that I need to do. So it's a situation where it's like, hop on the train, keep up, or next. I didn't care at that point. When I first met her, I didn't care if anyone that I was dating or with, I didn't care if they were into it. It didn't matter. If no, fine, next. Like, I was doing this. And if someone matched up and it worked out and we connected and the pace was the same, but meeting Mama Swolio, like, it actually facilitated and everything went faster, which is a sign. You know, it's a sign that it was a good fit. Thus, we're still together. But I was always the priority. I was still going to train. No one's going to take me away from fucking training or lifting. Not a chance. So you have to find who you are. You have to figure out, you have to love yourself. You have to put yourself first, because then other people they're going to come and go. You're going to have other relationships that are going to stick. They're not going to stick. But bottom line, you're getting yours. And that's the problem. So if you're codependent or whatever it is, but that person's not worth it. If you were sacrificing yourself for that person, it's like, whoa. I just don't think you were complete first. Or that person was sucking you dry. Pun intended. Oh!
Inconceivable!
Yeah, no? Let's see. Follow-up from Pablo. I didn't put myself first. You said it. I was worried about keeping the other person happy and stop taking care of me. Yeah, fuck that shit. So whether it's, look, you weren't right for each other, X, Y, and Z. But the thing is, the other person also didn't have the full Pablo too. So I'm not saying you should beat yourself up about that either. But when you are taking care of yourself and I'm working on forging a 100% Pablo, then guess what? When you come across paths with someone, they're getting the full you and you're already reinforced and you're putting yourself first. So everyone wins. Everyone wins. And the thing is, when you're putting yourself first, guess what? Your filter gets really, really fine. You really fine tune your filter, and your bullshit meter gets super sensitive. So anyone, any person that's in your circle or any girl that you're dating or anything like that, when maybe that relationship starts pulling on what you do to take care of yourself, it's a fucking red flag. Like, let me clear the air right now. Let me let you know what the fuck is going on. And when you forge yourself, when you become a full Pablo, it builds that confidence, and you don't take shit from anyone. It's like, then go elsewhere. This is not the ride for you. It's important. You have to work on yourself, because then whether you're with someone or not, nothing changes. You're still forging yourself. You gotta be more selfish. You gotta take care of yourself. You come first. You come first, because then anyone that you meet, you're not complete, and it's going to falter. You're going to be outsourcing to making them happy. Like, fuck them. Fuck them. You make them happy. Happiness is bullshit. You need purpose. We're not built for happiness. We're built for fucking purpose and reproduction. Okay? Fulfill yourself. And then anyone that you're with, it's going to be better off, because they're getting a better you, and you're already fortified. Hopefully that makes sense. But when it comes to mental health and things like that, brain gains and shit, physical training is just as important as the mental training. But just don't do the training and like, oh, I feel really good. And then you're not going to feel good later, because you're not taking care of what's upstairs. It's like having a messy closet and being like, oh, I cleaned the living room, so I feel really good. But then you go in the closet, it's still a fucking mess. So that kind of correlation, cleaning or vacuuming the living room doesn't clean up the closet. You might feel really good because you clean the living room, but the closet's still a mess. And then when you go into the closet, you're like, oh, fuck. And then it brings you right back down. So you need to address the issues where they are, but at the same time, All right, good questions. Good questions. Let's see. Toby Steele from the Daily Swole Telegram chat. Let's see what we got here. Papa Swole, I work construction, and I'm currently working out of town and don't have access to a gym. Any tips to stay in shape and get a good workout in while I'm out of town? Sure. I mean, if you're an unlimited member, you can do the Swole Mastery, you could do Swole 7, you could do yoga, you could do Swolga. You have a lot of things at your disposal. You're currently out of town, so it's probably too late for you to have brought bands or a kettlebell, which I would have recommended. The beautiful thing about a kettlebell is you can literally bring one weight. Bring a 44-pound kettlebell, or a 40-pound, or a 35, or a 53, whatever it is. Bring one kettlebell, and you can do a total body workouts. You don't have to. You bring that in a yoga mat. You have everything that you need for mobility, everything that you need for strength, for cardio, for everything. So that's my recommendation, but that might be too late for you to bring something. So I would practice yoga, Swolga, meditation, eat right. But again, it comes down to preparation. If you fail to prepare, you're preparing to fail. So if you're working construction, you're out of town, did you bring food? There's coolers that you can bring. You can prep food before. You can bring let's say you're in a hotel or something like that. You could bring a hot plate. You could bring a cooler, and they have coolers that you plug in. So if they don't have a fridge, you can actually put your food or whatever in a cooler that plugs in, and then you can have your own refrigerator where you go. It's like $200. You can have an actual cooler that has a whole fridge, and then you can bring a hot plate. You can cook, and you can have your eggs. You could have your steak, and you could be eating right. So, this is some perspective. So working out of town's no reason to not train, to not eat right. And if you didn't do that, you just didn't prepare properly. So some wisdom for next time. Next time, ask me that question before you're out of town, not like after the fact. So traveling's no reason to not be on it. There's many ways to do it. So maybe if you you can follow up a question there. Let's see here. Let's take a call, and then we'll get into some more. We'll get into another question from the Swole fam. Let's take a call here from Seth. You're on the Daily Sleaze.
Hi, Papa Swolio. My name's Seth Bramley.
Hello.
I think you're really, really awesome. And I'll love to hear from you, Papa Swolio. My phone number is 0405. And yeah, I go to the gym myself and would love to hear from you.
Awkward.
What the fuck is that?
Oh, all right. So we're on the I'm going to tell you something, Seth. Let me lay it down straight. Let me lay it down real clear. Head on over to swolenormousxxx.com. I think the information that you're looking for, or you can go to my Only Swole. Go to onlyswole.com. Onlyswole.com. Onlyswole.com.
Because
Onlyswole.com has the content that you're looking for. Onlyswole.com. I think he wants the original. He wants the OG dick draft. All right. Let's hustle quickly back to a Swole fam question. I'm sorry I went to phone calls. Jesus Christ. All right, Brandon, Papa Swolio, how often are you training hard versus doing yoga and mobility? I find myself lifting heavy 5 times a week and have a hard time pumping the brakes for yoga or active recovery. Well, don't make it a choice. Don't make it a choice, because by the time you fucking realize you need active recovery or yoga, you're probably overtrained or under-recovered and you're beating yourself up. So, I mean, I'm training hard all the time. What I would recommend is you could also adjust how much volume you're doing when you're training hard. I don't do the same kind of volume that I did, 5 years ago. I don't train to the point I realize that I don't get crippling sore. I don't anymore, because I don't do the type of volume. I do a lot more mobility, but I also don't do the same type of volume. I'm not doing so many different exercises and so many different sets. I'm still going strong. I'm still lifting heavy. I'm still doing high intensity, but I'm decreasing the volume. So the amount of sets that I do at that intensity has decreased because I like training more frequently. So when you say how often, that depends. Like I say, I do upper body, lower body. Sometimes I'll do 2 upper body days in a row, but sometimes that'll be steel club or that'll be mace. It won't necessarily be like heavy chest day or heavy back day. Usually I'll go upper, lower, but a lot of times if I do, let's say, chest and I'll do some biceps, I might just do 1 exercise for biceps, but I'll do like 3 or 4 sets hard of one thing. And a lot of that's because I'm not really trying to put on a ton more mass in terms of like my overall mass. Maybe I could lean out a little bit. I'm fine with where I am. When you have a goal of like building X amount of muscle, then of course you need to eat a certain way, you need to train a certain way. But I don't have like specific goals. I'm not trying to endlessly put on muscle, and I haven't been for a while. So my goals have been really joint health. It's been mental health. It's been feeling good and increasing my range of motion, my mobility, my flexibility. So for example, I'll do, let's say, upper body day. Maybe it's chest and biceps, or it's chest and back or something like that. The next day, maybe I'll do some Persian meals, or I'll do some steel club, or I'll do some mace, or vice versa. So 2 days in a row might not be heavy, stressful, the same type of overload. It might not be the same type of like heavy focused strength training. It might be more dynamic movements. It might be kettlebells or something like that. But I usually like to do upper body, lower body. And for example, I did legs yesterday and I went hard. But here's my leg workout yesterday. I did a set or 2 of like standing hip flexor and leg curls. And then I went into a few sets of Nordic curls. I did my own version of hack squat with, I'll have to show, I don't have to really over explain it here, but I did essentially hack squats with a barbell and with some supports. I'll have to show you what I've been doing. Really quad focused squat, but I only had 135 on the bar because of the style of the squat. And then I did heavy RDLs, and then I did sissy squats with my sissy squat machine and full range as like a superset. So I didn't do a lot of volume, but the range of motion and the exercise selection that I'm choosing allows me to go intense, allows me to overload those body parts, but I don't require, I'm not doing the same type of overload volume to the point where I can't get off the fucking toilet. And the mobility that's included, like doing Nordic curls and doing sissy squats, you'll get sore, and you can definitely get sore. But because of the range of motion, it's a lot more, I find my body recovers better when I'm integrating, even with strength, a lot of mobility. So bottom line, the overload and the intensity is allowing me to recover faster. So today, yeah, I feel fatigued and like, oh yeah, I know I trained yesterday, but it's more of like when I squeeze, like it just feels like a little bit like a fatigue, kind of like, oh, like weak feeling. It doesn't feel like, oh my God, it's so sore. Like when I squeeze, I'm not like, oh my God, sensitive to the touch. So I'm able to recover a lot faster. So today I'll do upper body. I have to think about what's on the menu. It might be some mace stuff today. It might be some mace stuff, or it might be, maybe I'll do some mace and I'll also do some chest. So for example, when I did chest, I did some mace. I went kind of heavy and I did a few sets first. But then when I went into doing chest, I didn't do so much for chest because I already did a bunch for mace. So I'm adjusting. So I went in, I did some deep bench press. I did some crossovers and I did some lever curls for biceps. And that was my workout the other day. So I'm integrating a lot more of like my mace and club work because I enjoy it. But tomorrow will be another lower body day. And I'm not necessarily going to go super heavy. I'm not going to crush because I did, do a lot more strength. So what I might do on the following day, instead of strength training or doing heavier squats and things like that, I'll probably do more of, maybe I'll do Nordic curls again, potentially, but I'll probably do things like Jefferson curls. I'll do some more adductor. Oh, I did some adductor stuff yesterday, but I might do some like hyperextensions, some glute hyperextensions, things that are going to take me through a larger range of motion. So it's not the same type of overload intensity. I still want to do strength, but mobility is strength through a full range of motion. So it's taxing in a different way. And it's like kind of like a strength training, but active recovery strength training. So that's how I do it. So I'll do upper body, lower body, essentially. And then in that framework of today's upper body, what am I doing? Let's say I feel good and I want to do some mace. Okay. I could also do some chest, X, Y, and Z. And then I kind of figure out, is it going to be a heavy day? Is it going to be a light day? Did I go heavy with weights yesterday? Then today should be maybe like a higher repetition, because you also don't want to do super heavy mace work every day. I have fucking like a 54-pound mace. I'm not going to swing that every day. It's really hard. You have to build up to it. And that's a lot of tension on the joints, a lot of stress. So if you're going heavy with mace every day, it's like squatting heavy every day. You're going to hurt yourself. So you have to kind of like upshift, downshift. So it really depends on how I feel. Is it an upper or lower body day? Do I feel sore? Do I feel tight? And is it going to be more of like a higher rep or moderate, more mobility day, or is it going to be a strength day? So when you say how often, it really depends. And if I just like physiologically feel worn down for whatever reason, then I'll pivot and I'll just do, and again, this is why I like kettlebells, why I like mace. It's why I like these things, because you could just pick it up, go light, get a great workout in, get a lot of mobility, active recovery, and it's fun. And you don't have to, do essentially what's boring corrective exercise. I mean, just do some external rotations. Like some of these things are just, you're less likely to do it than just to pick up a mace and start swinging a little bit. And it's great for your joints. You get a sweat going and you make progress. So the other day, on Thursday, I went to get my beard cleaned up and my hair braided and stuff. And I didn't have a lot of time, because once I got back, I had a guy coming to finish putting up a jammer pull-up bar. I have to show you guys updates in the gym. Like, we've been hanging lots of stuff, pegboards and things like that went up yesterday. So a lot of new updates. So I've been kind of figuring that stuff out. But he was coming and I only had half an hour or so when I got home from doing that. So I picked up a kettlebell, went outside, just did some swings, did a couple snatches, did some windmills, did some, some lateral like Cossack squats. I did some mobility, just a little bit, got a sweat going, felt good. It wasn't anything crazy. Didn't have to be super heavy. You just want to move. You want to move. And like I always say with the 7 pillars, they're not always going to look the same. It's not always going to be perfect, but that pillar number 3, training, should happen every day. It might just look different. And I'm at the point where every single workout that I do isn't like, I'm not trying to set a PR. I'm not trying to break the fucking sound barrier. I'm not training the same way, which is smart. You shouldn't train the same way you did when you were 20. Your body's under more wear. Your body's different. My desires are different. I need more recovery. I need more recovery now than I did, 15 years ago. I have a lot more wear and tear, but also it's just recovery takes longer. And I've noticed that subtly over time. So what do? If I need to aid recovery, I decrease the volume. I give my body more opportunity to recover. because I'm an advanced lifter, because I've been doing it for so long, I don't need the same type of volume in that sense. I don't need to go intense at that level. I don't need to because I'm able to target the muscles more effectively. My coordination's at the level that it is because of all my years of training. So I know how to target the stress on the muscles the way I need to. And your volume is going to determine how quickly you'll be able to recover. I remember doing workouts in college where I couldn't I remember, it's still traumatic to this day. I remember I was sore to the touch for like 9 days. Like I would push in and feel, that's traumatic. That's traumatic damage. But if you're crippled like that, if you can't fucking move, if you can barely, it's going to affect everything else you do. If you do a brutal leg day, guess what's going to happen? How are you going to do barbell rows if your legs are jacked up? You know, your glutes are supporting your lower back and you're compromised. You're compromised if you're really stiff in your lower body. It's going to affect your upper body's rotation. It's going to affect your ability to do other movements. So you're actually compromising your safety by getting to that kind of like traumatic stress. So just some additional thoughts. I know that was a lot, but some other thoughts. Okay. Toby, let's see. I come home on weekends so I have a chance to get ready. What food would you recommend I take with me? Dude, have you done an elimination diet? I'm not sitting here going to like give you a whole menu. Like, have you been in the kitchen? Have you gone through any of this content? What food do you recommend I take with me? Also, how do you feel about protein powders, pre-made protein shakes? I'm not a big fan unless you get grass-fed whey isolate, but you get access to raw milk. That's even better. That can be beneficial, but it shouldn't replace normal food consumption. I mean, grass-fed ground beef is great. You can make patties, you can make meatballs and just pop them in your mouth. Really easy, inexpensive, and easy to make. It's really easy to ground up grass-fed beef, flatten it, put in the pan with some beef tallow, boom, 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 have tons of burgers, eat them cold. You need to do an elimination diet, then you know what foods work best for you. All right, let's see. Freddie, Papa Swolio, what is your opinion? Speed work? What is your opinion? Speed work with lifting to help explosiveness? Doing in my program at the moment, and it's feeling good. Is there anything I need to keep an eye on whilst doing it? Speed training. You mean like like you said, explosive training, like squat jumps or medicine ball work? I mean, if you want to maximize like power output, a good thing to do is to do strength training, because power is a component of strength. What you're doing is you're increasing like the motor unit, the firing, like the rate of firing, which is a component of motor unit synchronization. So when you are doing heavy strength training, what you're doing is you're getting all the motor neurons and the motor units, which are groups of motor neurons and muscle fibers, to fire at the same time. So you get all the strength possible for what muscle tissue you have. It's essentially coordination intramuscular. So it's like the coordination from the nervous system inside the muscles, because you have, let's say, your muscles, you have your chest and your arms, whatever. And if on a very micro level, all those muscle fibers are kind of like firing at different times, it's like people all yelling at off times, like, around the room. It's not that loud, but if everyone goes, bah, at the same time, it's going to be like, boom. So it's kind of like that impulse, everything firing. So it's really like intramuscular coordination rather than intermuscular coordination, rather than like other types of joint stabilization. So I think it's great. You could do a heavy set. You could do a heavy set of like 5 to 8 repetitions, and then superset with like something explosive. Like you want to do heavy bench, like 6 to 10 reps, and then drop down and do like explosive plyo push-ups or things like that, or medicine ball throws. You can do things like that, like do heavy squats, then go and do and then superset squats with like box jumps or something like that. I think it's fine. I mean, why are you looking to help explosiveness too? That's my other question. I mean, my opinion is everything is a tool. Like if you're a UFC fighter or you're an athlete for a certain sport, yeah, you have different applications. But my question is like, my opinion really depends on what your goal is. Like, what are you trying to, obviously you're thinking about achieving that. Why are you trying to achieve? Like, what are you trying to improve on? Are you just trying to do something or what? To move. That's my point, is like, what are you trying to really accomplish? there's a lot of different types of exercise. The question is, is doing that going to get you to where you want to go fundamentally? Jason, Papa Swolio, a newer unlimited member. Welcome to the fam. Let's get a round of applause. Welcome to the greatest fam in the realm.
You switch the samples.
I noticed you have said several times that yoga is very important. Why? What does it do? It aids in recovery. It's amazing for joint stabilization, mental health, physical health, emotional health. A lot of you know that when you do yin yoga, you do some of these deep yoga flows, you just feel absolutely on cloud nine. It hits muscles that you never knew you had. Start practicing and you will notice. You'll see immediately what I mean. Good for you. And of course, when we talk about yoga, we're doing it more from like a fitness, physical health standpoint, but the actual practice of yoga can be very spiritual if you go down that road too. Philip, Papa Swolio, you never talk about fish. Well, today it is a dick draft, by the way. I mean, if you need any,
Because
there's plenty of fish if you're interested in joining the dick draft. Unfortunately, it's going to be very rancid. Do you eat fish, tuna, sardines, etc.? I used to have sardines more. I haven't in a while, but wild caught, sustainable XYZ sardines that are not in like any kind of like vegetable oils or that are not in like BPA, X, Y, and Z, and those types of like, can linings. Sardines can be great. I don't eat tuna. Fish, just rarely. I talked about this the other day. I had sashimi. The last time I had sashimi, I shit my brains out, so I just haven't been interested in going back to getting sushi or sashimi again. Probably will eventually at some point. But if we did get like, raw oysters, or we went to get, let's say, crabs or whatever, I mean, once in a while we'll do it. But it's not like my main thing. I shouldn't say it's not my main thing at all, but I'm open to it, but it needs to be, the quality matters for fish. Even, I don't say even more, but like, it matters a lot. You want to avoid anything farmed, and, salmon, they're fed the same grains and soy and glyphosate and atrazine that you get from like feedlot cattle. Like, it's really bad, and they're colored. The meats are colored because they're like gray, because they're not eating the same kind of like algae that will give the salmon a pink color because it's farmed. It's gross. Let's see. Tobias, what does your breakfast look like? I haven't eaten yet today. So, I mean, steak, eggs, whatever, like food. I never think of it as breakfast. I just eat, but I haven't had anything yet today. Just had some black coffee. I was going to have some cream in my coffee today, but we've been trying to replace our fridge for like 3 weeks. They've been delaying the delivery. It's been an issue. So we have this cooler that's refrigerator. We have a big deep freezer, but it's like packed to the brim now. And this little cooler freezer that's really for emergencies or for traveling. It's not really keeping things cold enough. So I opened it up. I'm like, ooh, that smells a little bit like creamy kefir. I'm like, not a fan. Not a fan. Tossed it. Yeah, tilapia is gross. That's a bottom feeding waste fish. Ugh. Gross. All right, let's take a phone call. Hopefully it's not someone trying to suck my dick. This one's from Manikanta. You're on the line.
How to overcome grief and pain.
All right, so we're hurting. We're hurting on the calls. I'm going to try to translate. So you say, how do you work through? Was it work through grief and pain? I appreciate the look. I can't speak any languages from India. That's for damn sure. So English as a second language, respect. Grief and pain. I think that's what you said. Grief and pain. I'm assuming dealing with grief and pain. So I would recommend meditation for one thing. I mean, look, I'm sorry you're going through it, but it's really going to come down to all 7 pillars. Fact. It's going to come down to all 7 pillars. Like if you're going through grief and pain, you need a strong community. Even if it's a community of 1, you need to be practicing meditation, mindfulness, right? Nutrition, super important. That's directly related to mental health. All right. Training, absolutely training, recovery, mobility, like all of it's important. So I know it sounds like a broken record, but you know, it's the best
Make sure
record.
the television, make sure you have the record player on at night.
Okay. Brandon, speaking of broken record, it's important. Like you can practice, you can meditate all you want, but you should be eating healthy. You should be exercising. In other words, how do you get over grief and pain? Time. Time cures all. Like you just need time. But in the meantime, you need direction and purpose. You need to be focusing on those things. And the 7 pillars can give you those targets of things that you can execute on every single day. And that will get you through every day. And then as the days pass, the pain, the grief will decrease over time. It's just a part of life. And we all go through it at one point or another. Thank you for the question. Hopefully I interpreted it correctly. Yeah, going back to breakfast, Keith says breakfast is rare. I like 1 meal a day, keeps me honest. I've been really eating 1 meal a day too. But I mean, breakfast, whether you call it breakfast, it's really breaking your fast. So my breakfast, AKA my meal, I might eat after the show and then train after that. I might eat first and then train later and just hang out and like kind of like go in the sun a little bit. It's a beautiful day today. So yeah, I don't know. Freddie, Papa Swolio, even if you don't consume a mad amount of coffee, can people still benefit from taking a break from caffeine? Yeah. Yeah, sure. I drink nowhere near what I used to. But yeah, you can take a break from caffeine. Some people do that. Some people do that just like as a challenge to see if they can. You shouldn't need caffeine. So like I don't drink caffeine or coffee until like an hour or 2 after I wake up. So I'll wake up, I'll do my cold plunge first and I drink. So I wake up and I drink really 32 to 64 ounces of water, and I'll put electrolytes and stuff in it, and I'll go in the cold plunge. So I go in the cold plunge for 2 or 3 minutes. I don't really need coffee after that. Like I'm fucking awake. So I don't need it. And every once in a while I'm like, oh, I didn't make coffee, or I don't drink the rest of it. It's in my like container and I forgot to drink the rest of it. I like it. I don't depend on it. You really don't want to depend on it. If you feel like you need your coffee, then you should back off of it. If you feel like you need it, like if you're like, oh, I need to have my coffee, that's a sign that you're not getting, look, you shouldn't need coffee. You should be able to get quality sleep. If you're getting quality sleep, you're going to realize when you wake up, you feel awake and you feel good, but then you might, hey, you enjoy the little boost, maybe, but like I said, wait until your natural, like your adenosine reabsorbs and the initial cortisol in the morning decreases. Like wait a little bit, wait like an hour or 2 and you'll feel better. You won't have that afternoon crash. But if you wake up and you feel like you need it, that's a problem. That means you're not getting quality sleep. That means your nutrition's off. That means your hydration or electrolyte balance is off. Like there's other things there. So since I've been focusing like so much on sleep, it's so important. I just feel good already. And then the coffee is kind of like a boom. It's like, feel real good. Yeah. Yeah, I like the taste, and of course it's a drug. It's a drug in terms of whatever you call drugs. But people can have a lot of problems. And again, if you're doing an elimination diet, it's important to test coffee. And let's say you're doing an elimination, and again, do not discount the side effects that you can have from coffee. Some people have crazy anxiety when they drink coffee, or they have breakouts, or you can have all sorts of issues. Plus the quality of the coffee and how you're drinking it. A lot of people are putting garbage oat milk and almond milk and soy milk and all that chemical trash in their coffee, or they're, putting sugar and stuff in it. And if you have a low quality coffee, it can really fuck you up. You can feel like shit. It can blow out your asshole. You can have headaches and just feel like acid reflux. You can have a lot of problems from low quality coffee. So it's important. Make it fresh. And I recommend if you're going to drink coffee, fucking French press. Don't be a chode. Use stainless steel French press. Don't use plastic. Don't put any hot water, boiling water in plastic. In other words, if you feel like you need it, you need a break. Same thing with any kind of addiction, or it's not really so much addiction. It's also dependence. And you'll notice that if you wait in the morning, it makes you less dependent on the coffee. So if you wait an hour or two, you're already awake, and you'll notice that like the sluggishness, like you already kind of come out of it. When you have it first thing in the morning, it makes you more dependent on it. So if you wait to, and why are those people like, it's those stupid little cliches like, oh, don't talk to me before my coffee. If you're that grumpy, if you're that fucking drained, you're not getting quality sleep. It has nothing to do with coffee. Your diet and your lifestyle habits suck. So there's that too. But I'll tell you, if you do a cold shower or a cold plunge, it really just makes the coffee like, I don't need coffee when I'm jumping in like 40-degree water. Yep, that's it. Freddie, one thing I never do is have coffee anytime 7 to 8 hours before bed. Last thing you need is stimulants before bed. Yeah, you really want to avoid it, even like 10 to 12 hours. So at least like usually like, 8, that'd be like a hard, like, so if you're going to sleep at 10 o'clock at night, you want to stop drinking that by noon. Everyone's going to be a little bit different, but that's a good strategy, dude. For sure. Yeah, you don't want to do melatonin or anything like that. Let's see, John, I stopped melatonin several months back, replaced with chamomile tea and magnesium with a solid sleep routine. I get up at 3:30 a.m. every time. How do I sleep through that? Am I missing something? Possibly. I would recommend trying like a tablespoon of raw honey, like half an hour before bed. It could be for some people, you have this like, don't quote me on this, but it's like a glucose like dump in the body for the brain. So a little bit of raw honey before bed can help you sleep and help you stay asleep through the night. Are you getting up to pee? Like, are you getting up because you have to piss? I had that problem. I'll wake up sometimes early, and sometimes it's like, I have that. It's not because I'm like, I have like a weak bladder. It's because of the timing of some of the shit that I'm doing. So I'm trying to figure it out. I like to sauna at night, but then like the hydration, like I want to rehydrate. So sometimes I'm drinking a ton of water in the sauna and afterwards, and then I just have to move that earlier. So I'm like giving myself time to like piss before sleep. So sometimes I wake up to pee. It's not the end of the world. As long as you're not looking at blue light, you're not standing up and like, turning on bright lights. And it's like, I'm going to pee, go lay back down to sleep. I'm right back out. All right, let's do another phone call. Louis Pena, you're on the sleaziest sleazecast in the realm. Welcome to the show.
Hey, Papa Swolio. It's really a pleasure to be able to ask you a question, and thank you so much for listening, and thank you for all that you do.
You got it.
My question is, would you please upload a sound bite of you saying, go to the fucking gym so I can put it as an alarm, like that one story you posted? I could really use that. Thanks, bro.
Right on, dude. I was like, can you upload a sound? I'm like, oh, God. Is it going to be like... I didn't know where that was going to go. I was hopefully like, I love your story. Like, can you moan into the phone? Yeah, so good news. We've been, maybe today is the weekend. Like we're going to be launching ringtones. Ringtones, super affordable. We're going to be loading them up onto papasolio.com so you can buy a ringtone, and it's probably going to be like $2.99. So we're going to have like different ringtones and different audio. So you can choose a ringtone or an alarm, and you can have that over at papasolio.com. Probably also going to do some cool like promos where like, you get a shirt or you order over a certain amount, you get a free ringtone, stuff like that. So definitely going to have a lot of those available for download. So keep an eye out, papasolio.com. We've been doing that for a while and should be good to go. Maybe even we'll be good to go hopefully this week. I don't know, maybe we can get that for tomorrow. I've been pushing for it to have that. All right, let's see. Freddie, Papa Swolio, the butterfly stretch. How do I get it to stretch my lower back more since I don't always have a partner around to push down on my back? Or do you practice some more? Butterfly stretch. So the soles of your feet together, your lower back more. It's not for your lower back, it's for your adductors. So what you can do is sit back up against the wall or elevate your butt. So sit on a yoga block or a pillow or something like that to elevate, or a bolster. If you don't know what a bolster is, just type it in on Google. It's like one of those, like, it looks like a pillow sausage, and it's for yoga. It's for like good for decompression. It's like a soft pillow, but it's like a tube. It's like a body pillow, but it's like stumpy. I would recommend getting one of those. That's great for yoga too. It's great for certain positions. It's like a foam roller, but it's soft. It's like a pillow. So I would recommend, sitting up on elevating your butt, and that's going to allow you to, because when you're really low and you have tight hamstrings or adductors, your back's going to round. But if you elevate your butt, you'll be able to sit more upright, like a meditation pad or something like that. And I would also recommend, because what it sounds like you need to do is to strengthen your hip flexors and stretch and lengthen your hamstrings. I don't know if you're trying Jefferson curls. That's very important. Jefferson curls are important. You could do seated good mornings. That's great to strengthen your lower back, because you want to strengthen your lower back, but you also want mobile lower back. So you want that range of motion, but you also want strength. So also what you can do is you can take dumbbells, light dumbbells, and put them on your upper thighs, not your upper thighs, but your lower thighs by your knees, to aid in your knees staying down. That way you can try to push your lower back. But I would try elevating. That way you can flatten your back out a little bit more. I would try seated good mornings are great too. Seated good mornings are great because you're in a hip flex position. So it puts a different stress on your lower back. Ooh, The Burbs. I showed Mama Swolio The Burbs like a week or two ago. She's never seen it. Classic movie. Tom Hanks in the house. Uncle Buck, classic. Or Back to the Future trilogy on rotation. There you go. Good choice. Good choice. Back to the Future. Good choice.
Great Scott!
All right. Good question. Let's see. Last phone call. There we go. Let's see. Miguel de Assis. You're on the line.
So I didn't want you to send you a question. I just wanted to thank you a lot for your videos and all the things that you do, because I've passed for rough moments and tough moments, and I think your content has helped me out to get out of that moment. I know my English is not very good, I'm sorry. But yeah, now I'm quite a semi-professional player of volleyball thanks to your motivational videos and everything. So I want to thank you that, because
thank you so
much. I say we because you were like a big part of my motivation. You were a huge part of my motivation. I wrote you and messaged again on Instagram. I probably know you're not gonna see it, so I ask you here.
So if I'm not mistaken, there wasn't a question in there. Just checking, but I do appreciate. Look, I know that's for asking a question. I know sometimes it's like mumbling, but Nancy says, why does it sound like most people are hiding in a closet when they call in? Because some people don't talk up close to the phone. I mean, some of these people are calling from halfway around the fucking world or completely around the fucking world. So who knows? Maybe it's like, but my Android. If you're not a member, you're not going to get it, but anyway, I do appreciate it, and sometimes there's a language barrier. People just mumble, or they're shy, or they're embarrassed, or they're nervous, so I do respect it. And even though the AskPapaSwolio.com is for questions, I do appreciate people calling in and saying they appreciate the content. Thank you very much. I'm very humbled. I appreciate your feedback, and I'm glad that the show and the content helps tremendously. So feel free, Miguel, if you have a question in the future, call back and ask a question. I do appreciate it. Thank you so much. And anyone else that's listening or watching or whatever, you can go to askpapaswolio.com and submit your question. And yeah, Cerny says people get nervous. Yeah, people get nervous too. I mean, they listen to the podcast, they see me ranting and raging, and they call in. They're like, they don't really know what to say. And a lot of people don't. Like, how often do you leave an audio question, or how often do you, I don't know. For sometimes that might be the first time someone ever submitted. And some people, as you can tell, some people are calling from, like, if that other guy earlier was calling from India or something and asking in another language, fucking respect to call in and ask in a different fucking language. Like, that's not your first language. So yeah. And who knows? Who knows? I mean, some people are calling in on phones. They probably still have like 3G in some countries, right? They're still on like 3G. They're still on like their Apple 3GS. So, or they might be on like a, Google Pixel 0.5 or something. No, I didn't. Oh, come on, Nancy. We don't shame people. We love shaming people. No, I didn't know you. I know you didn't mean it like that. But who knows too? Who knows? But I do appreciate it. At least, look, the only thing that would suck is like if you're asking a question and it sounds really quiet. I'm like, fuck, I can't really hear or understand what you're saying. But I do appreciate the sentiments, and thank you so much. I didn't take it the way that you were shaming. I'm just clarifying because people might be listening in their car or something like, I can't fucking hear. Like, what the hell is all that about? But I do appreciate it. And also, we post the link to Ask Papa Swolio 1. The fucking Instagram page is down. So it's like, we're getting a lot of questions from the Swolenormous Instagram page too, who calls in. So a lot of people that are submitting questions don't also necessarily watch the show. So it's not just people that are listening to the show that are calling in. We also post like, hey, swipe up or click here to ask, submit a question for Ask Papa Swolio. And it's a huge bummer too, because, obviously a lot more followers on the Instagram, the Swolenormous Instagram. We used to get a lot of questions because it was like a massive, much bigger following. So, a lot more people would call in. So we'd have a lot more influx from the calls on that, but not everyone listens to the show. They're seeing it there and submitting a question. So maybe they're not sure that I'm answering it here on the show. It is what it is. Freddie, is there a size guide on your website for your vests? You mean the tanks? Looking at the back to the fucking gym one, can't find a size guide. Tend to like my vest more loose. They fit pretty much true to size. I mean, for those tanks, I get a large. I prefer the premium tanks, and I get a large. They fit me nice. I don't want them like loose because I don't want, sometimes when they get loose, it's not less longer, but like they'll have like the sides will kind of like wing out a little bit much. I like my hoodies. I ordered, I got a couple samples from hoodies, and I got larges, and I'm going to cut them. I'm going to cut the necks and cut the arm because I don't like hoodies as tight as those are. So I like oversized or bigger hoodies. That's for sure. But when it comes to the tanks, there should be, a full blown size guide, like inches. I don't think there is. Whatever you see is what we got for you. But if you like it a little bit loose, I would just probably order the size that you normally get if you like it loose. I feel like it's pretty accurate when it comes to sizing. Does anyone else find that too? With your tanks when you order? I feel like t-shirts and tanks are pretty much easy to size. I think it gets a little bit more sketchy when you start going with pants because people have different size butts and thighs. But when you have a shirt, it's like you wear a large shirt, you're going to wear a large t-shirt for the most part. I think like shirts are a little bit more consistent than pants, of course, and like waist size. But if anyone else has like any personal feedback with ordering from Europe or anything like that, if anyone has any sizing recommendations aside from that. Jeremy says, I like it tight. Oh!
I better use my strong hand.
Okay, man. Jeremy likes it tight. Yes, it does. So, yeah. So in terms of the hoodies, I think I'm gonna take, because I got a couple two larges. I'm probably gonna cut the hood off. Right. I'm gonna make them like an 80s like boxing. I'll cut the neck and I'll cut the sleeves a little bit and kind of have like a hoodie shirt for those. It'll work out. Or maybe I'll leave the hood and just cut the arms off. So it's kind of like, I can't decide if I'm warm or I'm cold. That kind of bothers me. I'll say that kind of bothers me. That always bothered me. When you have a hoodie but no sleeves. It's like, make up your fucking mind. What, your head's cold but your arms are hot? I don't get it. I still don't get it. I still don't fucking get the hoodie, the sleeveless hoodie. I don't get it, man. I don't get it. Okay, we're there. Fam, awesome Q&A. Good shit. Interesting audio questions, but I think we've gotten some good stuff. We got a little Tainty man. Oh, Tainty boy. All eyes on you, buddy. What's the matter? What's the matter? You want to go get some sun? You want to go get some sun? Why are you looking so sad, bro? You sleepies? You go sleepies, bro. You go fucking sleepies then. All right. So let's get into Swole card. Remember, tomorrow, we have our accountability meeting at 12 noon Eastern time. Tomorrow, Monday, October the 24. Be there, beaches. We're going to talk shop. It's going to be fucking fun. We're going to have private member Q&A. So if you have a question, and again, private member Q&A. So if you're a member, you can show up every fucking Monday at 12 noon and you can ask your questions. Of course, you can call in. You can show up on the show, of course. But every single Monday at 12 noon, we go over Swole fan posts, new releases, and any member that has questions about anything, we go into that there. And of course, we had our roundtable last Thursday. We'll have another one in 2 weeks. But that's available on Swole TV. The previous roundtable 29, roundtable 30 will be coming up. I guess it'll be like the first week of November or something like that. And of course, our last Friday's overtime segment is available in Swole TV. So let's get into the dick draft. Let's give this motherfucking shit away. Dick draft, bitch, dick draft, bitch, dick draft, bitch, dick draft, bitch, dick draft. Oh, we got a winner, Brennan. Congratulations. All right, Brennan, let's get that dick ready. Congratulations. Send us an email to support@swolenormous.com. Swole card 2360 Schwam in the subject, your mailing address in the bio. The email will send you today's Swole card. Excellent. Congratulations. Bye-bye now. Fam, we'll take some soundboard requests. Congratulations to Brennan. Everyone dropped some biceps and gorillas in the comments. That's fantastic.
Look at her. She looks like she's 19 years old.
We'll take soundboard requests. We got some piano cock coming up in just a couple moments. Don't go anywhere. We will see if the streak continues. I'm sure it will. And we'll continue the conversation inside the Swole Fan Telegram chat. Of course, it's going down in the Swole Fan Telegram. And tomorrow, the accountability meeting, 12 noon Eastern time. Head on over also to papaswolio.com. Use code DailySwole for 10% off. We got some awesome designs. Remember, the pumpkin stuff, the pumpkin spice, and the pumpkin head, go to the fucking gym. Those are going to be gone in about a week, so don't miss out on those. We're going pure Thanksgiving and Christmas. Don't miss out.
Matt Damon.
Tainty man, I love you, tainty man.
Well, folks, eliminate one tax loophole out of $1.6 trillion worth. $1.4 trillion worth. Out of $1.4 billion, $1.4 billion.
Look, I got my live sign making pretty colors. You can't see it though, because it's black and white. Oh, there it is. It's so pretty. Oh, baby.
How big you people?
What do you mean,
Well, I could be wrong, but I believe diversity is an old wooden ship that was used during the Civil War era.
Oh,
60% of the time, it works. Every time.
That doesn't make sense.
Crucifixion is good. Out of the door, line on the left, one cross each.
church. You want to see a little church? A little drop some biceps and drills. You want to see some church for the end of the show? Piano cock time. Got that quick release update. Yes, nailed it. Nailed it. Oh, yeah. All right. Excellent. Fantastic. Let's see. We got a little church. 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 Ho, 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 oh, cute, 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 church, 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 yeah, 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 church, 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 ho, 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 church, 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 church. For God's sakes, get me to the church on time. Say hi to the fam. You don't want to. Neck scratches? You don't want to? Oh, you're so cute. Oh, you're so cute. Okay. Church says hi. Na na na. Hava Nagila. Okay. She's like, yeah. It's like one of those, like, what is it? I guess like the Jewish weddings or something where they have people up on the chair and they're all like, or in India and everyone's like kind of dancing around, or the Middle East and shit like that. I need to get some sounds. I need to get some ethnic music for that. We'll start doing like a chant. All right. That's about it. That's about it. You like that? You like that shit? See, if you stay to the end, you get some Pinkston Churchill. Everything gets a lot better. You get a little Tainty Man to close out. Very nice. Aww. Huh? Nothing like it. Nothing like it. A little taint, a little church. Perfect. It's beautiful. It's fantastic. I might get a little church perch cam. That way you can see her and Tainty Man on a split screen. All right. I know. All right. We're going to go outside and get some sun on our nips. Fam, go get some sun on your nips. Some of you are like, if I go outside, I'm going to get frostbite on my nips. So take care of yourself. Eat a steak. Go to the fucking gym. All that good shit. We'll see you tomorrow for the accountability meeting, 12 noon Eastern time. If you're not a member, join now, SoNormusX.com. Peace, McGee's, Deuce Magoose, your boy Papa Swolio. Out.
Crazy flow, need a straight jacket. Cash flow, I'm a bank addict. 6 subs, had the bass smacking. 808s, had the place clapping. 3 girls is enough for me, so I pull out like the stock crashing, like an IPO trying to purchase me. This a private sector, so you can't have it. Faking all that boom bapping. Who you think you is, boy? 90s want they sound back, so I give rap all these fake rappers as I take matters in my own hands. I don't need rapping, I don't need Zans. I don't need help, I'm a grown man. Now they king left and they so mad, it's like
then yeah, I found that young king with my crown at 10 racks in the fanny pack, couple hundred in the Louis bag.
That's a bed that you made, that's a bed that you made, that's a bed that you made, that's a bed that you laid. What kind of game is you playing? We go hard in the paint, yeah. What the fuck is you saying? I only go where they pay. What kind of game is you playing? Yeah, whoa, my shit is relevant. On topic, my melanin is popping. I'm taking skeletons on closets and making new deposits. I'm in my element, no